Well, you and I are getting to be good old friends, aren't we? Do you want to end negative thoughts completely? If you do this one thing, it's another tool. You can end thoughts that are negative completely. All right? What are we doing all day? We start to monitor them to try and switch over, monitor and switch over, but I'm going to show you yet another amazing one step to do this. Focus on it all day, and you absolutely will shift everything in your life. That's a promise, but you have to do this. Are you ready for it? Let's get going. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears. Live an amazing life. Now, why do I always say break through fears? Everything that is going wrong in our lives is based on really a fear. If you do this one thing that I'm going to share with you, and it may take you a while to master this, or maybe you'll just shift into it, it'll make perfect sense, your entire life will shift. You may never wake up at 3 a.m. again worrying about anything. And I'm not talking about going into an awakened state, although this will get you there. The only reason you have any negative feelings or thoughts at all is the story you tell yourself about that situation, about that person, about that future you create in your head. All of it that takes you into a negative thought is based on the story you tell yourself behind it all. All right? We're starting out. Boom! You ready for this? Spiritual butt kick. My book's coming out soon. Go down and get my free app, mobile app. It's going to help you switch your thought all day. But here's what I want you to do today. Every time you have that negative thought, why are you having the negative thought? We don't want to analyze it. That's another video I did. We don't like to analyze anything. We need to understand where they're coming from. But today, it's a story you're telling yourself. My boss is a jackass. I'm stressed out. The story is that his or her behavior somehow is infringing on your peace. That's it. That's a story. Because when you tell yourself a different story, and here's the issue, you have to believe it. When you tell yourself another story, it's not a problem anymore. That boss is your best teacher. Now, I did this in another video where we did flip that thought. I'm going to tell myself a good thing about it. And that's sort of where we're going here. But I really want to dig deeper. We're going to flip that thought. But the thing is, there's stories running through your head all day long about the world, about what you are, about what we are, about what's going to happen, about your future. There's constant stories running, and most of them are negative. The stories have to change. We're not just going to flip a thought, because a thought flips, and that handles the situation for a moment. But when you have a story is much bigger than a thought, right? That story actually generates those negative thoughts. Does this make sense? What's the story? It's a belief. It's always based on a belief. How can I tell myself a story, unless I have a belief that things are a certain way or should be a certain way? All right? What's the story? You're telling yourself that you can change about everything. I'll tell you one story you can do. You can tell yourself right now that there are no mistakes, that everything has positive purpose, that this is just a role you're playing, that there's nothing that can ever threaten you, that there's nothing that you must fear or have to fear, that you are absolutely perfect, that you are totally controlling your life, that you can change any situation. I can go on and on and on. I can create the most amazing story, and I do. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't, or any awakened person out there, including the Dalai Lama, who's admitted to this, won't have a negative thought. We're not reacting to it. We're not going into the story behind the thought. So Dalai Lama, his whole country was obliterated. So he could have anger, which he has admitted to, anger toward the people who did that, the country who did that. And the horrible things that they did, and drove everybody out and really destroyed the foundation of what was very peaceful. So what did he do? He saw it for the horrible thing that it is, the horrible experience that it is as a human being. But he told himself a story that was different than these people are evil, horrible. In that role that they're playing, they are. But the story doesn't have to be going into that negative space. You can see it for what it is. They're playing a very negative role. They're choosing lower actions, lower thoughts, lower whatever. Don't you go into that space. So here's where we think we're okay. And this is what perpetuates the entire planet's lower frequency. Because somebody else does something evil or rotten, what we do is then we go into judgment. We are now down there with them. We're down there with them. The one doesn't judge. Thank goodness. Because we'd all get our asses kicked. We'd never make it into that beautiful space. We'd never be allowed. The judgment against anybody puts you down in that space. You're no different than them. Even if they're perpetuating something horrible, if you're judging, that's a super low frequency. Because now you're separating and you believe that you're right and somehow you're this amazing person that has all the answers and that they're evil. And then you go into this dark space. And that's really what judgment does. It takes you to a dark space. So you're telling yourself a story about this. I'm okay about this. And we did this whole, I did my whole video on the big lie. And this is part of the big lie. The story is that, I'm a good person, I'm awakened, they're evil. No, we are one thing happening on this planet. We are one thing happening in everything, in every planet, in every expression, in things that are unseen, in spaces that we can't even comprehend. We're just all one thing happening. That is just one expression. That's it. That's it. It's one expression. It doesn't feel good because on this planet we're believing it. We're believing it. And we're experiencing what it's like to feel bad, to feel anger, to feel loss, to feel sadness, to feel frustrated and depressed and anxiety and all these things. Welcome to planet Earth, you chose it. Get to know these feelings and change the story. This is me as a human experiencing something that I can't possibly experience on the other side. It's impossible because I'm a light being. I'm not attached to this density anymore. There's no pain body or ego that goes on when we go to the other side. Yeah, we're still in a different frequency. You don't go and, you're not some little angel flying around just because you go over there. You take your frequency with you. It continues on. Get it done here. Straighten it out here. Quit screwing around and quit telling yourself a story about they're bad and the government and the president and blah, blah, blah. There's so much we don't know that would blow your mind. And don't go to the conspiracy theories because you won't have those answers either. Guess what? It's all part of the game. Your mission is to raise your frequency. That's it. Because this experience that you have along the way all comes back to your final mission to raise your frequency. So you came here to experience certain things. Maybe some of them may be very challenging, which allows you to really evolve and raise that frequency, right? But here's the deal. We're here to experience and to maintain that connection that we have never lost to that higher self, that higher frequency, and focus on it. Pull it in. You don't lose sight, but as quantum physics shows you, that if you focus on that higher frequency, then you open the gateways to higher thoughts, different stories. But we're not. We're going over to this frequency they're evil, so now I'm going to go judge, and they shouldn't do this, and this is that, and let's, stone him, stone her. Right? That's the planetary mentality. He without sin cast the first stone. When anybody gets on, and I see these comments in there like, they have the answers, and we need to do this, and we need to do that, I say, we don't need to do a damn thing. You don't have to do anything I tell you. It's your journey. But we're all here as one entity, shared. So what you do affects me, and what I do affects you. So if something I say can help you to connect to that higher self that you are, I've done my job. But it's all your choice. I don't have the answers. No one does. We don't know what the answers are. I'm not sure there are any answers. When you go in an awakened state, you don't have to have them. You don't care about them. You just know that we are absolutely pure and loved, and everything else is just made up. It's all holograms. It's just all made up. Of course it is. Think about it. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So this is not real. It can't be. It can't possibly be. And we've heard way too many stories, millions and millions of stories that don't make any sense on a solid material world that is in stone. Way too many stories that will obliterate our idea that this is it, and this is what we are, and that we're separate entities. Nope. Sorry. And by the way, scientists, they're so way behind. Yes, they're discovering all these things. Oh, now it's okay to say we're one and we're actually affecting our reality. Hello. We've known that for centuries. We've always known it. I have another publication coming out called The 3 Human Energy Fields. We're always functioning somewhere in the fields of what we are, which is 100% pure. The second human energy field is when we come into this role, we are still connected to our first energy field. But when you come into a body, you are dense. Can't get around it. You're going to experience that no matter what. You can be a human in a first human energy field, which is an awakened state. The reason why it's a first human energy field is because first human energy field will still experience being human. Pain, loss, you'll still experience it, but you no longer react to it. The second human energy field is what most people are. They know that this isn't right. They want to do good. It's more like a child comes in, right? And things start to happen, and then you start to formulate your opinions, you're told things, you're programmed. The density of the earth starts to saturate your energy field more and more. And the third energy field, human energy field, is the ego, dense form, the people that perpetuate war. And by the way, oh, they're doing this. It takes a village to do these things. One person standing alone cannot obliterate the planet without some kind of assistance. We're one energy. We have control over everything. You stop eating the garbage out there, the chemicals, all that stuff. If we all do that, it's out of business. We don't have to do anything negative. We just have to make higher choices. And stop telling yourself a story that somebody else is to blame for your life. That's a story that's going to go nowhere, and you're disempowering yourself. You change your story about absolutely everything so that there is no negative thought around it. Okay, this happened. My neighbor's dog just died. We were all crying. There's a negative story. Why did God take him? No, I said, he was amazing. He filled our lives. He left. He decided to go. That's it. There's no story around that. Why did God take my... What? We put negative stories to that. We're not okay with what's natural and what happens here. We're not okay with experiencing challenges. It shouldn't happen. No, that's the other side. Go back there. That's where nothing happens that's bad. It gets boring after a while. That's why we're here. We get to experience the contrast, unlike any other planet in the entire universe and beyond. There's nothing like this because we have emotions that are on a super high level. You know? People shoot each other in an argument over emotions and a story they've told themselves. Can you change your story? Of course you can. You have to believe it. Start expanding out into that quantum field. That's who you are. Everything can happen there. Miracles. Come join me. I'm in March of 2020. It's going to be old real quick. The Miracle Circle membership begins. All right? And if you're in my email list, which is down in the description, you'll get the announcement of when that opens up, and I'll give you the first month for free. You get lessons every week on how to create miracles, a private group where we use the power of the group to start creating miracles. So we have a list. You get to put in your request for a miracle, and we use the power of our group, because quantum physics, it's not just one person that creates a war, right? We're going to do the opposite. We're going to go to a super high frequency. That's why I'm going to give you the training. Why do some people get miracles and some don't? You're going to learn all of that. So once a week, if you stay as a member, every week you'll get a new lesson from me. You'll be in this private room where we share miracle stories, and then we go live. I come on live at various times, and we have a miracle circle, and we focus. And this is real stuff. Because our story is going to be that everything's perfect and that we can change anything. And that's going to be our story. We're going to see whatever it is we're focused on, we're going to see it as perfect, already done. You get enough people doing that, you'll be shocked at what will happen. But you have to change that story first. You can't go in with a story of negativity. This is why Christ could not heal everybody. They had a different story in their head, and he could not override their free will. That's just how it works. That's what makes it so fun. If I could override your free will, I mean, that'd be insane, right? All kinds of stuff happening to you that you didn't want. No, you're in control at all times. Change that story. I'm never going to tell myself a negative story again about how things should be, how they should talk and act. It's their journey. Allow it. It's about you and how you respond. It's about me, right? It's about all of us. It's not about what they're doing. It's about how I think of that person, that situation, my story, and how I'm going to react to it. Because if I go down in that low level, I'm the problem. Don't be the problem. We're changing this planet. Do you feel it? It's happening big time. All the stuff that's going on out there is the frequency raising, and things are starting to split. They're starting to split. So you're going to see some upheavals that appear to be negative. They're not. Right? You can't stay in a bad marriage and have a good one. Somebody who decides to remain to be a jackass has to go. They have to go over with the other jackasses. You don't need to stay in that. And that's with anything else in your life. It's going to start splitting. But not if you stay there and tell yourself some story and you remain in that lower frequency. You're going to have to make some decisions in your life right now that are going to be uncomfortable. That I guarantee you, once you do it, it'll blow your mind. You'll think, what was I afraid of? This feels amazing. Because in your head you have a story that doing that is going to be painful, or leaving the abusive spouse, or leaving the job that's not good for the planet, or abusive bosses, or whatever. You've got that what you're going to go to, there's this story in your head that's going to be painful or horrible to do that, and I'm better off staying here. Go ahead. Stay in that lower frequency. See what happens. Yeah, see what happens. It's not going to be pleasant. So you might as well take charge and do it yourself. Because this planet is evolving. She is progressing. She's awakening. She's perfect. She's tolerated us long enough. This planet will not be obliterated. It will not be allowed. So there are other ways to get the fleas off of a dog. Don't be a flea. Don't be a flea. You have the choice. You raise that frequency, because every single person on this planet, every plant, every bug, every cockroach is perfect and beautiful and serves an amazing purpose. Most of them are tests for us. And they've chosen those roles. I know, it's tough. It sucks. It stinks to be in pain. But when you change the story, you don't have to suffer anymore. Right? There is no right nor wrong, just an experience of everything you can possibly be, because you're part of the one. We are not separate. I'm counting on you. Go down in the description. I have all kinds of things down there for you to join. Some free stuff, some downloads, mobile apps to keep you in a higher frequency. Join my email list, it's free. Take one of my courses. I have discount codes. They're super cheap. Don't tell yourself some story. Spiritual teachers shouldn't charge. Well, guess what? I have a lot of bills that keep running these platforms for you guys. Right? Web developers and music licensing and all that stuff. No more stories. It's made up crap. All right? We're all here on planet Earth. We have to function a certain way until we change it. And I don't know about you. I'm ready to change it. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Yes, you can share this video, blast it, and all of the videos that you like of mine, put them everywhere. If we reach one person out there that wasn't on my channel, it'll start to spread. Subscribe. Let's get it going, my friend. You hold the power. You're that important. Sending you light, love, health, wealth, blessings, and most of all, awakening. Namaste.